Can't see you guys, sorry. There's so much light. Uh, Today, I would like to invite you to something special, because you all have been chosen, and not just as spectators, but as the guardians on a mission to save the galaxy of amygdala. In the next few minutes, let's go on a journey together that's beyond our imagination, where the stars align with the well-being of our children. We are all going on the way to children's mental health. But before we visit this mysterious galaxy of amygdala, please let me introduce you to the details of the mission. So its background and actually the reason why we need to fulfill it. At first, let's all turn back in time to the day we were born. For me, it was 25 years ago, and obviously I can't say I remember that, but I know that I knew nothing at all. I needed to learn how to eat, how to walk, how to function in society. And who was responsible for passing on this essential knowledge and skills? Of course, it was my parents. Because from the earliest human communities, in the basic organizational units of society, so families, parents have been responsible for teaching their children how to operate in the world around them. It was parents who ensured their children learned how to, survive, find food, protect themselves from danger, anything like that. For centuries, parents were responsible for teaching their children the basic skills needed for daily life. Think about it. They guided us to school, where we gained knowledge. They guided us to the playground, where we learned social interactions. Throughout history, the whole human history, the roles of children and parents were clearly defined. So parents were the educators, passing on the essential knowledge, wisdom, and skills. This age-old tradition was a cornerstone to human civilization, bridging generations and ensuring the transmission of our collective human wisdom. Let's do some math now. I like math. How old are children born in 2007 today? Around 16, yes. And true. Why am I mentioning this particular cohort? So they are the first generation born and raised entirely in a world where iPhone was already on the market. So why is this the revolution? Now we find ourselves at a crucial crossroads where the sands of time have shifted dramatically. The dynamics of knowledge exchange have been turned upside down. So today, it is the children who have taken on the role of the educators. Why? Because children are teaching their parents, and even parents of their parents, how to use technology. This digital sphere is the natural habitat of the younger generation. And this phenomenon not only marks a significant shift in the parent-child relationship, but also it also helps us to consider the role of parenting as we know it. We as adults have to understand, we must understand, that the technological environment is the natural habitat of the younger generation. And we need to step into their shoes and think about not distancing technology from them, but about extracting the most value out of it. And the most natural applications of this approach lie in the areas of education and medicine. And my team and I have focused on children's mental health. So as we dive deeper into this pressing issue of children's mental health, I invite you to relate to your inner child. Turn back to the times when you were a child, when you were carefree, when you were on a playing ground, or discovering the world with a boundless curiosity. We were all children once, and even now we all have children in our surrounding. Even sometimes they're our own kids, sometimes nieces, nephews, or family friends, different relations. And nowadays, these kids deal with very different problems than we used to because of their digital lives. These problems might include, for example, cyberbullying, or feeling anxious because of social media, getting addicted to screens, or seeing things online that are just not okay for them. Technology has mixed up with our natural world, so it's very difficult. It's hard to get away from these things. We adults find technology terrifying, actually. Terrifying and scary. And now imagine being a child that has been raised up entirely in this world. The digital landscape is their native territory, and yet it's also a place where some of their emotional and psychological challenges are. Children's mental health are increasing worldwide. So issues like anxiety or depression are leading causes of disability and can result in prolonged behavioral, emotional, and even physical disorders. In worst cases, childhood depression might lead to self-harm or even suicide. This problem is exacerbated by a lack of access to professional health, to specialists. For example, according to the American Society of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, the absolutely minimum number of child psychiatrists needed to treat children's mental health is 47 psychiatrists per 100,000 children. However, in countries such as Germany, we have 18 of them per 100,000 children. In Poland, 6. In Denmark, 2. And such shortages are seen throughout Europe and beyond. As a result, every 3 to 4 days on average, in the United States only, one child under the age of 13 dies of suicide. People often say, always start with why. It's a very, very well-known phrase. But in this case, isn't it obvious why? For me, it is. That is why me and my team start with how. So let's come back to the galaxy of amygdala, where this our mission is located. I want to introduce you to an exciting initiative that can actually revolutionize the way we approach children's mental health. I'm the founder of Comzy, a digital health company, and our goal, our mission, is to create digital gaming solutions to prevent and treat depression and anxiety in children. Comzy's solution, so Mission Amygdala, is a video game designed by physicians to improve mental health outcomes in children ages 8 to 12 with depression or anxiety. The app is conveniently accessed by the mobile device and can be used between visits with the therapist or physician as an engaging and cost-effective therapeutic tool to reduce symptoms and severity. So our game takes children into an extraordinary journey to the galaxy of amygdala, where we are at. And it's not just about entertainment. That's the most crucial thing. It's about empowering our children with essential life skills. So each day, our players are tasked with missions to help characters of the game overcome with some emotional issues. For example, can you imagine being a green light? A green light, yes, the one we see when we are passing through the crossroad in the car. It must be the loneliest light in the whole world. In our game, there's a character named Edward. And Edward is a green light. When he shows up, no one stops. No one stops to see him. And he's very, very lonely. Now we face the child with a challenge to identify helpful and unhelpful coping skills for Edward. In the next level, we meet the robot who has somehow been reprogrammed and no longer understands his emotions. So now, we as a child, as the character in the game, we need to match the cogwheels so that the robot can understand how his emotions affect his feelings, affects his thoughts, affects his behavior, and his surrounding. In the next level, we meet Nervous Nelly. Nervous Nelly is a character that's very anxious. She suffers from anxiety. And our mission is to travel to the planet named Calm Z. And in this underwater world, our task is to help Nelly maneuver through the labyrinth of relaxing techniques. But remember, no, don't remember, sorry. Each level allows us to gather some star points so that you can exchange them for the new skins or for some extra gadgets for our starship or to some bonus missions. And playing these mini games, children learn those valuable skills that help them with emotional issues. And then they interact with a special companion, the video bot named General Empathy. You can see him on the screen. And General Empathy helps those children understand how to apply those learned skills into their daily life, in their real-time conversation. So emotions and feelings never stand alone. We always feel a few of them at the same time. Step into the shoes of an 8-year-old child who's anxious, maybe even depressed, has some issues at school, maybe he or she is bullied, have some problems with understanding emotions. And your parents, if you are lucky, take you to the doctor's office because they are concerned about your mental health. And you see, the first thing you see when you enter the cabinet is a tall, bald man with a terrifying beard, what's worse. And he asks you, how are you feeling? Remember, you are this 8-year-old child, scared enough. What will your reaction be for such a question? In my case, leave me alone. I don't know you. What the hell do you want from me? Or something like that. It's just crazy. And now envision the same doctor helping the child choose the character in the game, or going together for the first mission. On the next visit, he could ask the child, do you remember helping Edward? Do you sometimes feel like Edward? And does any of the coping skills that you've learned during the game could help you in your life? The game is a powerful tool that also helps in building a relationship between a physician or therapist and a child, a patient. Typically, it takes hours or even a few visits to build just a foundation of trust between them. With the game, with such tool, it can take minutes. And what about the parents' perspective? Usually after the first visit, parents are asked to wait 2 or 3 more weeks to check if the symptoms get better or worse. Do you imagine being a parent in such a situation? You come to the doctor's office extremely scared about your children's mental health, and the only thing you hear is to wait. It's not the doctor's ill intent. It's just a standard practice. That's how life works. But there is another scenario. A doctor could suggest parents download the game, an evidence-based, designed by physicians product that could help children learn some basic coping skills, learn them with psychoeducation. Of course, I know it wouldn't solve all the problems. I'm aware of that. But it would leave parents with a feeling that they are not alone, that they have the solution that is an ongoing support for their child, that they can learn some basic skills and psychoeducation for that. As technology might, of course, cause a lot of mental health issues, it's reasonable to ask if it's safe and adequate to use a game to treat depression or anxiety. I'm sure your kids or children you know spend a lot of time on their mobile phones, and you may find it ridiculous to give them another game. I get it. But again, relate to your own childhood. Just as on the playground, we could breathe fresh air, have a great time, make new friends, we could also get hurt, break our leg, or twist an ankle. And the same goes for technology. It can be addictive. It can be scary. It can also cause some mental health issues. But it can also be an incredibly powerful tool for education and medical assistance. Now, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this message, that the world we create today is the world our children are going to live in tomorrow. We are entering a new era where technology and human connections are closely linked. So let's not be afraid of these challenges, but rather inspired by the endless possibilities. This journey is actually about rethinking how we raise our kids using technology as our ally, to make sure that our children's mental health isn't just okay. Depression is a serious thing. People die of it. Even children do. So we all share this responsibility to guide this digital generation towards the brighter future, marked by resilience and mental health. Remember that the future isn't far off. It's the path we are on right now. So let's take brave steps, be caring mentors, and shape a world where our children's mental health can truly flourish, because we have the power and tools to make it happen.